Holy shit, guys. We lost almost 1 million jobs in the first half of 2025. Some people say this is the Trump tariff economy. I think it's AI. Whatever you say, these jobs aren't coming back. Like, that's one big thing. People keep saying, oh, like when rates go back down, when the Fed lowers rates, like we'll have the ZERP economy again and like we'll have all the jobs back again. Like, I don't think that's happening. First of all, when are rates going down? Because JPOW does not seem at all inclined to do that. And I think that's the right decision because, I mean, we are in a very speculative feeling moment right now. But even if they do, like, all these CEOs and companies have learned how to replace human employees, like, in the efficiency gains of AI or other technologies that are like quasi-AI. I'm just glad I got pushed out of the airplane 3 years ago to this point. I got laid off. It wasn't because of AI. It was just a shitty business. But yeah,
If you get laid off, you need to do this in the first 48 hours. This is going to minimize the time it takes you to get back on your feet. Step 1, once you find out, just take the rest of the day to process it. Cry, eat some ice cream, vent to a trusted loved one. You are not going to make any productive moves until you process this. Step 2, the next day. Consider posting a message like this on your LinkedIn profile. This is going to alert everyone that you're available, and I genuinely know people who have gotten a job offer within 24 hours of getting laid off because they did something like this. Step 3, to avoid any gaps in your resume and continue building your skills, reach out to any friend of yours that runs a business. Send a message like this to start offering your support. And then finally, step 4, we're going to make a list of 3 companies that we want to work for. Find people who work at those companies on LinkedIn and send them a message like this to start building connections. If you follow these steps, you're probably going to have something on your plate before your severance even runs out. Like and follow for more jobs.
I just got laid off by Meta, and I spent the entire morning reading the separation agreement, trying to figure out if I could actually make this video. Very unclear if I can, but let's just pretend I'm good and proceed. So I'll tell the story from the beginning. I got hired originally in 2019. That's 6 years ago, so I've been around. But the craziest part is I left the company of my own accord, not once, but twice. And both times, Meta asked me to come back. Recruiter reached out to me a year ago, literally asked me to come back, no questions asked, no interviews, even gave me a signing bonus, which is crazy. So of course I came back. And fast forward 1 year, my manager messages me this morning, says, you should probably work from home today. I would strongly encourage it. I know, I'm getting laid off for sure. So she joins the call with HR on the dot, says one sentence, says you received a below expectations rating for your mid-year review and the company has terminated you. Crazy, drops the call, no other communications, cold as fuck. I'm not even mad about it. It's comical how much thrash there is in this company and what the company is doing. Like, the culture, of course, has gone downhill over the past 5 years. That's expected. But I think I've had like 7 managers over the course of 5 years, maybe. The manager that hired me back this time wasn't even my manager. He left the moment I joined the team to go somewhere else. We've hired like 5 people this year alone, like 2 people left. I was just talking to a new hire last week and he was like, oh, there's so much thrash here. It's crazy. I'm not used to this level of thrash. Like, why are people always coming and going? The same day, our skip leaves. This week, I'm gone. I know for a fact there are still people on the team who are thinking about leaving. So it's actually crazy how anything gets done. Anyway, I'm unemployed. Probably will be for a while because I'm so done with tech. But yeah, that's the tea.
I really don't think people understand what is coming over the next 18 months, especially if you're working in corporate America. If that's you, you might want to save this video for later and please share it with a friend who's working in corporate. We are seeing what they are calling the Great Restructuring. And essentially, it is consolidation of people and humans within an organization as they blend with technology. It basically means that companies are looking to get rid of irrelevant job titles, job roles. They're looking to get rid of these massive teams that don't get anything accomplished for 3 or 4 years. I've spoken to so many people who have been laid off over the last 2 to 3 years, and I've noticed something. The bigger the company they are at, the less impact they actually have, which makes their resume really, really hard to work. I will get people who share with me projects they've worked on where they've been one of 20 people. If you're in a role like that, it's really hard to define the value that you're bringing to the company you're working at. And it also means you are primed to be consolidated. You see, companies are making decisions of how they blend humans with AI and technology. They are trying to get as much as they can done with the least amount of people possible. Microsoft just announced mass layoffs, and we are going to continue to see companies do this during the great restructuring. So if you're working for a big corporation,
I just got let go from my job as part of organizational shifts and return to office. As you guys know, I have been a remote employee for the past 5 years, really since the beginning of the pandemic. And I'm crying not because I'm sad that I got let go. Obviously, the instability of losing an income always sucks. What sucks most about being let go is somebody taking control out of your hands. I always preach internally and here at home that we have got to be the people in the driving seat of our futures, of our careers. And when a company takes that control out of your hands, it sucks, because all of a sudden the plan that you had, the roadmap that you were on board for, is gone. Now you've got to start over. And this is why you've always got to have a plan B, a plan C, and most importantly, an emergency fund. I am incredibly upset and frustrated. There have been several shifts in the company in this last couple of months that I just knew the writing was on the wall, and I knew my time was coming. But the fact that we have an emergency fund, because ultimately that is what matters at the end of the day, is that we have money to pay our mortgage, to pay for our daycare. We have that as a fallback, and I can take time, maybe a week, to just collect my thoughts and put together a strategy for job hunting. Always be prepared for the unexpected, because ultimately companies will always put themselves first. And as much as you want to believe that you're part of the family, you like the people you work with, it's a business transaction. It's a business contract, and you've got to handle it as such. But please know that you are more than your job. You are more than what you do. Have a plan, have an emergency fund. Do not spend more than you need to. Live below your means. We are in strange times. That isn't beside me losing the job, just general messaging. Protect yourselves, treat yourself as a business, and always be looking for better opportunities, because companies would do the same, and they are.
The biggest recession indicator to me currently is, actually before we go to this guy, this one's even better.
Beauty salons are recession indicators, and yes, we're in one right now. I went to get my eyebrows done a few weeks ago, and the salon was completely empty. I'm talking, I was the only customer. Keep in mind, this was a Saturday afternoon, and I was talking to my eyebrow tech, and she was like, yeah, super unusual. It's summertime. This is normally our peak busy season. As well.
Yo, for Nestor, for 1 second, guys, just say it out loud with me. Eyebrow tech. An eyebrow technician. Nestor, look up how much your average eyebrow technician makes and get back to me on that.
What's your guess?
As well.
Women's beauty is big fucking money. I'm going to say your average tech, I'm going to go 60 to 80,000 a year.
One of the best salons in Chicago, they should have clients. So she's like, I'm going to say it. We're in a recession. She starts explaining to me the politics of salons, which I find really interesting, in that a lot of her clients are the wives of very wealthy men.
Yeah.
And they've recently pulled back and decided that that extra income is not something that they want to be spending, which is absolutely a recession indicator. There's also the flip side of women who are paying for their own services that have decided, I can't afford this anymore, and I need to...
There's the flip side of women paying for their own eyebrows and their own nails. Actually, my girlfriend... My future wife, she loves to wield it, but she does her nails every month. It's $200 a month. It's $2,400 a year. And I'm the sucker that pays for them, right? I get it. I'm the simp, beta, bitch, whatever. That's not the point, right? But, now, so you got those numbers for me?
Yeah, 29,000 to 42,000 annually.
Okay, so I was way low, but think about that. Just for eyebrows. Imagine if you were a nail tech. Look up how much a nail salon, people who paint nails, make.
do my own eyebrows, or I need to do my own nails. And so she's actually looking for another job right now because she's like, I have to pay my bills and I'm not getting enough foot traffic right now and clients to be able to do that. There's a reason recent grads aren't able to get jobs, and it has nothing to do with their work ethic or their degree. The market is bad. The economy is not doing great right now. Whether people say that explicitly or not, that's why fascism.
Before we go to that other guy, I got to check the comments. Did you get that nail salon statistic?
40 to 75K a year. But some owners can make over 100,000.
I was gonna say there's big money in women's. I mean, add it up, right? Let's call it 150 for your nails. I don't know how much eyebrow threading is. You're talking makeup. You're talking. I would say to keep up, you're looking at like $300, $400 a month just in beauty, dude. It's like a car payment. Jesus Christ. That's why I cut my own hair, guys. I really do. All right, dog groomer here. Dog groomer here. People aren't getting their pets groomed either. Well, yeah. I mean, why does your dog need a haircut? That's what I want to know. I shaved my cats once. Me and my cousin Eric, our cats had fleas. Not kidding. We shaved them bald. I felt really guilty about it, but it was kind of funny. I'm not going to lie. We didn't know what to do. They had such bad fleas. Starsky and Hutch, those cats were the best. I work in beauty retail here. We've been dead since Trump got elected. Well, that's not good. They need to cut their prices. They've gone disgustingly expensive. It's not, wait. It's not a recession. It's really the places charging too much for mediocre work. Well, I'm also going to go ahead and jump off the line here. Like, if I didn't pay for my girl's nails, I highly doubt she would get them done. But it makes her happy, and I can afford it. I'm just being transparent with you guys. Let's go back to this other dude. I'm over the whole beauty salon bullshit.
The biggest recession indicator to me right now is how people react when they find out somebody they know live at home with their family. Because back in the day, you were getting roasted. If you were in your 20s, early 30s, and you lived at home, you were getting cooked. If you watch them old movies, they be telling them, oh, you live at home with your mom, you're a loser, you're not going to get dates, you need to grow up, you need to become an adult. People are not moving like that anymore. You find out someone lives at home with their family in today's world, you like, so bro, you telling me that you don't pay rent and you got a good relationship with your parents? How did you do it? Like,
you know what's funny though? Like, it's way more acceptable now, but let's say you do live at home with your parents and you're a dude and some chick's giving you flack, you just gotta reword it. They go, oh, where do you live? You go, I'm doing generational living right now. I gotta help the family out. You gotta help support the fam. And then she's gonna go, oh, that's really nice. You go, well, you wouldn't help your parents? You wouldn't take care of your family? That shows your morals and your integrity. And she goes, oh, no. You got to flip the script on these bitches. But things have changed. It is normal now. Like I get it. I would not care. Like, I had my dad live with me until I was 34 years old. But he needed help, right? But if I needed the help, he wouldn't give a shit. Like, we wouldn't care, you know? And it does work if you're like, I'm pitching in helping the family. Women are always like, oh, my God. He's such a good man. Although women don't like nice men. So actually, now that I think about it, scratch everything I just said. Okay. Oh, congratulations. You're getting along with your parents. I bet you're saving a lot of money. Sometimes there's the situation, though, where, like, the situation I was in, I was helping them. That's the fucked up part. That's something we never bring up. We never bring up the other side. How many parents need help from their kids. It's actually more than you think. I'm 33, and 80% of people say, damn, must be nice. It makes sense, though, man. Just call it generational living. It sounds better, right? The recession indicator is that we are living at home and still paying rent. Yes, that's where I'm getting at. Right there. Bingo, boingo, boom, from downtown. I said, bam. Here's some money. Get your nails done, huh? Seriously. All right. Actually, mom and dad need help with mortgage and insurance. Easier to help them financially than pay ridiculous bills and rent. 1,000%. And you know what's funny, though? Like, when they say, I think people self-sabotage, right? Like, I've had people move in with me, like friends, and I charge them $700 a month rent. It was 2 years ago. That's a steal, especially in South Florida. And you would think that most people, if they did go home and have less bills, that they would like take advantage and save. I would argue that most of the time it's actually the opposite. They actually just end up spending more. They just spend more. That's the funniest part. Like, that's the truth. Like, I'm not bullshitting. I'm not saying you're not disciplined. I'm not talking to you. All right? We just met here. I don't even know you. How you doing? All right. It's just a smart financial decision at this point. I'm jealous. Stay there as long as you can, is my response. Yeah, I don't see the harm in it, man. Honestly, that's like when I have kids, They could stay with me. Obviously, they're going to have a job. They're going to have stack some bread. They're going to have to learn. But, I'm not just going to kick them out, Like, if they want to leave and come back, fuck it. I mean, that's just where the world's going. I'm going to end on this note. Wait, right here. I think the whole leaving home at 18 to live on your own is mostly an American thing. In many other cultures, that's the classic. Many other cultures. I'm going to go ahead and say, God damn it, Nestor, you made me lose.
Well, it's official. The 2025 job market is frozen. I've been saying this for the past few years, but now the data is lining up, and this shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. Over the past 3 months, the job market has only added 35,000 new jobs. That is the slowest rate since the global pandemic. And you'll remember during the pandemic, more and more companies were putting people on furloughs, and nobody was hiring because of that magic word, uncertainty. And right now I'm hearing the word uncertainty a lot from executives. Uncertainty about global wars, uncertainty about tariffs, just uncertainty about the future. We're also continuing to see companies become extremely profitable, like Meta, Microsoft, and those same companies are shedding large percentages of their people in mass layoffs. It means that companies are laying people off even if they're profitable to get more profitable. And now they can do that by augmenting the work that's been done by some humans with AI and automation. All of this means that the 2025 job market is absolutely brutal, cooked, frozen, whatever you want to call it. So if you have a job, I would start getting your resume ready, start networking, and really prepare for the worst. Because in the short term, it's not getting better, and we're hitting what I would consider rock bottom.
Look, I don't know if you all paying attention, TikTok family, but if you're watching the news and you care about what's going to happen to you, and we know TikTok has all these great things and tools, ebooks, and all of this shit and whatnot, quick, easy schemes that they say is so easily to get all this extra money. But if you look and you pay attention, April mass layoffs, I was a part of that. Microsoft laid off 9,000 jobs. This is tech as well, HR and other different positions. Now they're finally officially attacking federal workers. What the hell you think is going to happen? So everybody's supposed to stay in the dark? No assistance, people who've worked, paid taxes, did what they were supposed to do. And so now with this narcissistic regime that we have in office and his little booty lickers of America at his wheel, we're screwed. Now I know we did the boots on the ground. We, black folks, we know how to make it. But this is a different time. This is a different situation. And I'm not saying that we need to scramble and, oh my God, and panic. No, what I'm saying, we have to be strategic in what we do. We're gonna have to learn to get together and plot and save and put whatever we can, because I'm telling you, it's gonna become a time when you better have your paperwork in order. You better have passports. I'm trying to get my stuff together because we don't know. Well, we know God reigns. We know our daddy above. We know what to do. But still, you still got to do the work. And so as I'm reading the news and I'm thinking, like, we got all this bickering and shit on TikTok and all this other stuff on social media across the, board of the platforms. And I get it. We want to laugh, have fun. But bitches, you paying attention? Are you really paying attention to what's really out here? Are you really following? Now, if you got a corporate position, you making great money. I used to be at that point, but shit, I'm here now. And so if you don't plan and having some type of general income other than what your salary is bringing in, it's hard. It's going to get hard out here. So I just want to bring awareness. I know I've talked about a lot of things just for me on my page and my niche and all that, or niche. But the reality is kicking in. Like, this shit is different. It's a different time of system that we're in. So we need to start paying attention and focus on unity and checking up on each other, because everybody ain't okay. Y'all take care. God bless.
We are not only headed for a recession, but a possible depression. Okay, so what's the next domino to fall when markets crash? Companies are going to start announcing mass layoffs. If you have a job, okay, and you don't have at least $1 million in assets to ride out this wave, please go to your boss and say, Is my job secure? And if the company starts to pursue layoffs, what would I need to do to secure my job? Take on other duties, work more hours, do whatever you can, because getting another job to replace the one you lose is going to be extremely difficult in this economic environment. And it doesn't look like it's gonna get better anytime soon. It's getting worse by the hour. Please protect yourself and your family and your job before it's too late. If you have less than $1 million in assets, please listen to me very carefully. The market right now is down 1,600 points again today. We are not only headed for a recession, but a possible depression. Okay, so what's the next domino to fall when markets crash? Companies are going to start announcing mass layoffs. If you have a job, okay, and you don't have at least $1 million in assets to ride out this wave, please go to your boss and say, is my job secure? And if the company starts to pursue layoffs, what would I need to do?
I wish I had good news for everybody, but this is very, very serious. And we cannot trust the Trump administration's reports or data. Sorry, Caroline. Far from it. Here's what's going on with company layoffs and the economy. We already know American Axle is suing the Trump administration. They're an auto parts manufacturer because they say the tariffs are putting them out of business and they're getting ready to lay off a bunch of people. We already know that Ford and GM's profits were completely wiped out the second quarter because of tariffs. P&G will be cutting 7,000 white-collar jobs. When I go through the list of companies that are laying off, they all attribute it to decreased global sales and sales within the United States because of economic uncertainty due to the tariffs, and the increase in prices because they're producing parts that they have to charge more for, so people are buying less, all again thanks to tariffs. And also a lot of these jobs are being replaced by AI. And I want you to remember that this big beautiful bill put a provision in there for the next 10 years. Not one politician, nobody can touch AI. They can, whoever owns AI services, including Elon Musk, can do whatever they want without repercussion. So MAGA, I want you to keep all this in mind. So P&G is cutting 7,000 jobs. Special mention, Kentucky. Kentucky is getting ready to lose 23,000 jobs because their three leading bourbon producers have all filed for bankruptcy. A lot of it having to do with Canada being one of their lead countries that they export their products to that are no longer selling their products because of the tariffs. Let's see. Microsoft, 9,000 jobs. Meta, Google, Amazon's cloud computing arm. Intel, a microchip manufacturer, is laying off 10,000 employees. Zoom Info, Chegg, PwC, Chevron, Boeing, JP Morgan Chase, Cargill, Wells Fargo, Marriott, UPS, 20,000 jobs. Dell, Nissan, 11,000 jobs. Intel, Microsoft, HBC, DHL, BP, Bosch, Jaguar, Sarepta Therapeutics, Alaska Air, Indeed, and Glassdoor, which I find interesting. They post all the job openings, and I guess there just aren't as many job openings anymore. Procter & Gamble, 7,000 employees. Clark's, Allianz, Intel, 15,000 employees. Blue Diamond Growers, Walmart, CrowdStrike, IBM, MasterCard, Cisco, 7,000. They're a food supplier for schools and hospitals and restaurants and you name it. Stellantis, 2,450. Optum, part of United Healthcare. They have clinics in rural areas. They're going to be closing a bunch of their clinics, leaving a lot of people without a job. Mercury Marine, Intuit, NatWest, Ford. The list goes on and on. I just didn't want to sit there and spend the rest of my day writing it all. I am not including all the companies around the world that are also laying off because of Trump's tariffs. This has caused a worldwide economic dire situation. It's not just harming Americans anymore. And the numbers cannot be trusted from the administration. You can't trust their data, unemployment numbers, or what have you, because of falling survey responses. Unemployment numbers rely on surveys being submitted to the government. And there's big concern that companies that have already shut down or are MAGA supporting companies are not turning in their surveys that they lost jobs. They eliminated jobs, causing higher unemployment. Because of budget cuts and staffing shortages in this administration, and because the Trump administration disbanded the advisory committees that are there to confirm statistical accuracy of data coming out of the Trump administration. When we look at the unemployment rate and how Caroline Levitt and others portrayed as it's low, there's one number that's disturbingly high within that number, and that's the highest number to date. Over 25% of the jobs being occupied right now in the United States are leave those employees what's called functionally unemployed, meaning they make under $24,000, don't have any benefits. So they're essentially unemployed. They're in poverty. Over 25% of jobs in the United States are filled by people who are functionally unemployed because of how poor the pay is. And so that makes the unemployment rate look like it's great. There's so much more to the story. But MAGA, you're part of a lot of these layoffs.
If you have less than $1 million in assets, please listen to me very carefully. The market right now is down 1,600 points again today. We are not only headed for a recession, but a possible depression. Okay, so what's the next domino to fall when markets crash? Companies are going to start announcing mass layoffs. If you have a job, okay, and you don't have at least $1 million in assets to ride out this wave, please go to your boss and say, is my job secure? And if the company starts to pursue layoffs, what would I need to do to secure my job? Take on other duties, work more hours, do whatever you can, because getting another job to replace the one you lose is going to be extremely difficult in this economic environment. And it doesn't look like it's going to get better anytime soon. It's getting worse by the hour. Please protect yourself and your family and your job before it's too late.
All right, this is Uncle Mooch. I see a lot of posts going around about major layoffs in 2025. Microsoft cut 9,000. We have a lot more companies, so a lot of companies are reducing their workforce in 2025. So Microsoft, they cut 9,000. TikTok cut jobs in the U.S. e-commerce. Bumble reduced their workforce by 30%. Intel cut 54 in Forsum. Raytheon cut 142 jobs. Salesforce cut 700 jobs. Amazon laid off staff in their book division. A lot of companies are restructuring because of economic hardship, and with the AI technology getting better and better, a lot of companies are going that route. AI doesn't sleep, it doesn't take days off, it doesn't do any of that stuff, and it doesn't ask for raises. But definitely stay strong out there, and let's just keep moving forward. You know, don't look back, keep moving forward, and things will get better.
Guys, it is brutal out there. Do not quit your day jobs in June. I don't care what's going on, how rough it is, how stressful that job is for you. Unless you have something lined up, do not bounce. Right here, I'm going to post them on the screen. Here are a list of companies, major companies, that have announced for June that they intend on doing layoffs. It is not going to get any better anytime soon. I understand you may hate your job, but unless it is a mentally damaging position where it is so toxic that you are just going to harm yourself or it's going to degrade your quality of life, stay in your job. The phrase "do not quit your day job" has taken on a completely new meaning in this job market.
Well, we just got the latest jobs report, and of course, everything is looking fantastic. U.S. labor market is strong, unemployment's heading down. This is the best economy ever. Well, I think we've been hearing that same story for like the past 2 years, but yet it seems like consumer sentiment is sinking to new lows. At the same time, all you ever see in the news are headline after headline with major layoffs, which we'll talk about later in this video. But first, let's talk about the actual job data that just came out this week. According to the BLS, the U.S. economy added 147,000 new jobs in June, which beat the expectations of only 106,000 jobs that were going to be added. And it was also forecast for the unemployment rate to increase to 4.3% from the 4.2%, but it actually went down to 4.1%. And May's payroll gain was also revised upward to 144,000 from the 139,000 they originally reported last month. So that is actually pretty surprising because most of the revisions are usually downward. So the fact that it went up at all is a shocker. Average hourly earnings also rose 0.2% month over month and 3.7% year over year, which was slightly below the expectations of rising 3.8% year over year. Here's the other curious thing though. The labor force participation rate dipped to 62.3%, down from 62.4%. So not a huge dip, but still a small dip. So even though the job market is looking great, you're having less people actually going to work. So what's the deal with that? One interesting theory from Nancy Vanden Houten from Oxford Economics said that because we're having a slower labor force growth right now, this could actually keep unemployment low even as joblessness rises, which is kind of a paradox. You really don't see things like this happen too often. The other thing that resulted from this new jobs data is the probability of a July rate cut from the Fed fell to only 5%, where previously it was at 24%. And a September rate cut dropped to 78% chances, down from 94% chance where it was before. And there's also still a lot of talk that the Fed might not even lower interest rates at all this year. The ADP payroll data actually showed that private employers cut 33,000 jobs in June, which was the first monthly private sector job losses since March of 2023. So there is definitely some conflicting data here. We also have continuing jobless claims reaching nearly a 4-year high, so things are not nearly as rosy as the headline numbers would like you to believe. So when you have big gaps like this when it comes to the ADP numbers versus the BLS numbers, who do you believe? Do you believe the government or do you believe the private sector? Well, the truth is probably somewhere in the middle because neither one of these reports is ever going to be totally accurate. But the reality is, last year in 2024, almost every single month, the BLS overreported the amount of job openings so substantially that by the middle of the year last year, there were actually no jobs created, even though they said that there was about 800,000 by halfway through the year. And the reason for that is because of the downward revisions that we got last year. And so the same could easily be true for 2025. Personally, I'm very hesitant to accept anything that the government reports to us because they have a lot of incentive to kind of goose the numbers and help the people who are in office. Well, one thing I just like to look at is what's actually happening in the news with all the layoff announcements. You know, the big one that happened this past week is Microsoft announced that they're going to be laying off 9,000 employees. This is actually the second round of layoffs to hit the company this year because just in May, they let go of 6,000 employees and another 300 jobs were lost in June. So Microsoft is right at the top of the list right now to be the worst offender for all the companies across the country of who's firing the most people right now. But they are far from alone because 95 major employers just announced job cuts that are coming in July of this year. So all these job openings, well, they're going to be needed, especially for all these people that are going to be out of a job very soon. Take a look at this. In July, we have 95 employers who are preparing to lay off employees, including big companies like UPS, FedEx, Starbucks, Amazon, Google, and of course, Microsoft. And these layoffs span multiple industries, things like retail, pharmaceuticals, food and beverage, healthcare, package delivery. Why are there so many layoffs being announced now for the month of July? Well, it comes down to a few different things. You still have a lot of businesses that are concerned about what's going to happen with the tariffs because there's still so much uncertainty surrounding that, especially the amount of cost that businesses could be forced to absorb if this actually happens. You also have declining consumer confidence in the past few months, which has been impacting retail and service industry sales. And some companies are adjusting to staffing levels not out of necessity, but in order to boost profitability or realign their operations with shifting demand. So when you have a combination of all these things happening at once, we're seeing a situation with a lot of layoffs. And just like I was talking the other day in the video about companies not wanting to hire college graduates, there's just too much at stake right now to take a risk on hiring people, and it makes more sense to get rid of people than to hire people in many instances. A lot of these businesses are adopting a more cautious wait and see approach until there's more clarity on where the economy is going to be moving into the future. And there's just so many businesses that are planning on laying people off right now. I can't even name them all because there's 95 on the warn notice. So I'll just scroll them through here on the screen so you can take a look at all the different companies. But what this whole job market is reflecting right now is a situation where the companies in charge of the economy essentially are looking to focus on things that they can control. They can control their costs. They can control how many people work for them. And so that is a way for them to kind of create some certainty in an uncertain environment. So from their point of view, it's like, yeah, we can let these people go. We can increase our profits for now, lower our expenses, and if we need more people in the future, we can always rehire. And it's not just layoffs either. Bankruptcies are popping up all over the place as well. In fact, one of them that was sent to me is the Dr. Phil bankruptcy. Merit Street Media, which is a startup that was founded by Dr. Phil, just filed for bankruptcy this week. And the company reported assets and liabilities in the range of $100 million to $500 million, which I find this kind of ironic because I saw one of Dr. Phil's episodes not that long ago talking about how people are being squeezed and the cost of living is too high and too many people are living on debt and things like that. And here you have Dr. Phil's company that obviously has way more debt than it has assets in order to qualify them to file for bankruptcy, which I find kind of ironic. And guess what? Bankruptcies lead to people losing jobs because last month, Merit Street Media laid off 40 of their employees. So even if companies do manage to stay in business and are able to work through these bankruptcy problems and debt problems, they still end up letting people go and run on a leaner staff. Del Monte Foods, they're another one that just filed for bankruptcy, which was also Chapter 11 bankruptcy, the same bankruptcy filing that Merit Street Media had. Del Monte Foods says that they intend to remain open and continue operations throughout their bankruptcy. But it's like, what is the common theme here, guys? It's companies going out of business. It's companies closing down locations, sometimes by the hundreds or even thousands. Think of companies like Rite Aid and Walgreens. And all those people lose their jobs throughout these bankruptcies and store closures and businesses going under. So to me, I look at it as like, regardless of whatever the official numbers say, when we get these new employment reports, you have to look at what's really going on with real people in the real economy. That to me is the strongest gauge of what's really happening out there. But we see a lot of the same tricks happening when it comes to the jobs report, because think about this, for example. We had 147,000 new jobs added, supposedly, in June, right? Well, guess what? 70,000 of those jobs, which is half of them, were all government jobs. We saw this same trick last year. We saw this happen quite a bit, actually, where most of the jobs that were being created were all government jobs. So when you take away those government jobs and just look at private sector jobs, well, now that only equates to half of the situation. And I thought the government was supposed to be cutting jobs right now and cutting expenses and not adding more debt and blowing up the deficit, but I guess that's not going to happen now, is it? Healthcare was a big one at 39,000 jobs added. Leisure and hospitality added 20,000 jobs, and construction added 15,000 jobs. One thing, in case you haven't noticed, is a lot of these job gains continue to be in the same small sectors of the economy. Construction, leisure and hospitality, which are not great paying jobs, and government jobs. That's pretty much it. What happened to all the factories that are supposed to be coming back to America and breaking ground and are going to start building things in the USA? What about those supposed jobs? Where are those? Because on the flip side, professional and business services jobs, they actually lost 7,000 jobs, and so did manufacturing. We also lost 7,000 jobs. Retail jobs added 2,400 jobs as of the recent report. And kind of circling back to the beginning of this report, hourly average earnings rose 8 cents to $36.30, which was about a 3.8% year-over-year increase in wages. And you might say, well, that's not bad, until you look at inflation. Inflation is still sitting very close to that amount. And when you actually factor in that, hey, you got to pay taxes on the money that you make, you don't just get to keep everything, well, now the situation isn't looking too good. And there's all this pressure coming from this situation for the Fed to lower interest rates. Donald Trump has been pressuring Jerome Powell to lower interest rates, even calling him names, saying that, interest rates should already have been lowered, especially with how great the economy and the job market is. But the reality is that interest rates should probably be even higher right now, because clearly inflation is not going away. It's still a major problem, a lot bigger problem than most people realize. And that's why these jobs reports actually don't really mean squat, because the jobs that are being produced just are not paying enough in many cases for people to really be able to pay for their life. And the wage increases are not enough to keep up with the cost of living and inflation. And if we were to lower interest rates right now, that would just make inflation an even bigger problem than it already is. That's one argument that you see a lot in the housing market as well. All we need to do is lower interest rates, and as soon as mortgage rates come down, the buyers are going to be pouring back in. Well, I don't think so, because a lot of people are saddled up with a tremendous amount of debt right now, so they won't even be able to qualify for a mortgage. And even if they wanted to buy, the price of homes then would probably go up if a lot of people did go back out and buy, which would further disqualify a lot of people who did want to buy. We're just in this situation right now where lowering interest rates isn't really going to fix anything. Yeah, it might make borrowing on certain types of debt a little bit less expensive, but honestly, if that's what you're worried about right now, you got bigger problems, because the whole focus should be on not having any debt to begin with, and how can I live on less and make more. That should be the focus, not what's the interest rate on the next loan I'm trying to get. And I think we're just going to be stuck in this situation for a long time, where we're just going to have to kind of wait and see where things are going to go. We're going to have to wait and see, are people going to be able to start earning enough money to outpace the cost of living? My guess is, if that does happen, it's probably not going to happen anytime soon, because the cost of living and the cost of housing has shot up so tremendously over the past 5 years that even if we put everything on pause right now, no more home price increases, no more gas price increases, no more grocery increases, nothing like that. Even if all that got paused, it would probably take at least a decade from now of wage increases like this for people to be able to catch up and comfortably be able to afford what life costs today. But as we know, that's not how things work. So these wage increases at the end of the day are really just a joke and kind of a slap in the face for people who are trying to make it. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know how this is affecting you. Let me know if you're getting large enough wage increases right now to be able to easily keep up with the cost of living. And let us know how you're making it out there. I'm curious to know. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if you don't want to wait for my next video to come out, check out this one on the screen right over here. And I'll see you in the next one.
Black people are getting laid off and immigrants are getting deported. If that is not an indicator of what this economy is getting ready to look like, I don't know what to tell you. Y'all need to pay attention to your money. I'm gonna tell you right now, your retirement needs to come first. What I'm trying to say is, at the end of the day, your retirement needs to come first with this economy, because if they're laying off black women as well as deporting immigrants, those positions that they usually hold is very hard to hire people at, because they genuinely don't make that much. And so they're going to start having to import or figuring out another way to get these things done, which I feel like is going to increase how much we're paying for things. Inflation is already a thing. It's just going to keep going up. And so that is a strong indicator. So you can't be frivolous with your money. Focus on retirement. DM me, FIA, and I got you guys.
So I have news that I don't want to share with you, but I have to.
Okay, I'm prepared.
And this is why I was telling you yesterday all the things that I said, which 100% are true. I am so proud of you and the work that you've done. As part of a company-wide restructure, we had to eliminate certain roles, and unfortunately, your role has been affected. Really enjoyed working with you, and like I've said 100 million times, I feel like a proud mom, like seeing you blossom and turn into this wonderful teammate has been nothing short of a true pleasure.
I don't ever look at things like this as like it's happening to me, it's more so happening for me.
Yeah. So again, I'm sorry. I know you're an optimistic person, so it sucks. I'm sorry.
It's all a part of the process. Good to me. I've learned so much. Obviously, like, I'm sad to like part ways with the people that I met here, but I don't necessarily have to part ways. I can still talk to them. And this might just be that final step that God's like, okay, you're gonna go all in. You need to go all in. Thank you. I really do appreciate you. Thank you. Alrighty. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.
Today I saw not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 black creators, women, say they got laid off from their job today. This comes after the news that 300,000 black women have been laid off so far in 2025. I scrolled some more on my timeline. I seen like 4 videos of black women saying they have been applying to jobs since January of this year. It is now August and they have yet to receive a call back. I got 2 homegirls right now that do DoorDash and Uber Eats for a living. And my city just made it illegal to be homeless on the streets. This economy, this job market, this administration can go straight to hell. If you have a job, it don't matter if you don't like it. Do not quit, because these people is not hiring. A few years ago, Indeed used to be that girl. It used to be so easy to get a job. Now it's like ghost positions. They're just pretending to hire you. Then you gotta fill out an assessment, upload your resume, your cover letter, do an interview, then do another interview just to not get hired. I find all my jobs on a Facebook group called Amber, Your Work From Home Homegirl. I posted it before, but I'm gonna post it again. I don't think anything is gonna change, y'all, until we strike. I feel like we need to boycott McDonald's, Amazon, don't pay rent, something. We can't just lay down and take it.
Kaiser Permanente made $13 billion in profit last year, so why are they laying off 42 nurses in Northern California? I received a tip from someone on the inside, and after reviewing internal documents, I can definitely confirm Kaiser is moving forward with layoffs at its San Rafael and Petaluma outpatient clinics. So that includes 8 GI nurses who provided sedation during colonoscopies, procedures that literally save lives. These nurses don't just assist, they monitor your vitals, keep you safe during sedation, and respond if anything goes wrong. Without them, patient safety is at risk. Right now, patients are already waiting weeks for colonoscopy appointments. And if these nurses are let go, that backlog is just only going to get worse. So all this while Kaiser reported a record $12.9 billion with a B profit in just last year, and another $2 billion in just the first quarter of 2025. The California Nurses Association is demanding that these layoffs be stopped. They say Kaiser is outsourcing care and investing in AI and telehealth while shortchanging the real nurses who care for patients face to face. So layoffs like this aren't about survival. They're definitely about priorities. And when profit comes before people, patients suffer. So let's be clear. Kaiser can afford safe staffing. Patients deserve better. Nurses deserve better.
2 minutes ago, I was just informed that my role at Microsoft as an event manager has been eliminated. So here's what I'm doing right now instead of panicking. This is not something that's easy to share or admit. I am at my favorite beach spot. I'm going to allow myself a good cry because let's face it, it's hard to go through this process. It's hard to navigate this job market right now. So definitely anxious and worried about what the future of my career will look like. And also there is, part of me that is also feeling a little bit vulnerable and embarrassed even. So I'm speaking that out to really just say that, like, if you're also going through some of these feelings right now, it is normal. I've gone through 3 layoffs now. This makes my 3rd layoff since being in the tech space. So I can say that I'm kind of an expert in the tech layoff experience, unfortunately. I definitely know how to navigate this by now, but it doesn't make this experience any easier. So number 1, good cry. Give yourself at least 24 hours to just process what has just happened. Just cry it out, to feel it, to really just come to an understanding, to really just give myself a moment of compassion. I work really hard. I'm very passionate about what it is I do, and I tend to connect a lot of my identity to the work that I do. And in my industry, I don't think it's completely terrible because I'm very community based, and community is definitely a part of my survival. So I'm not seeing it as a complete red flag. But yeah, I definitely sometimes take things very personally. So, and, just really acknowledging that layoffs are just part of the industry. Unfortunately, with, current tech climate and AI and automations, there's a lot of, ambiguity in navigating this space, and really giving myself compassion as I'm moving through this. Is what I'm going to do. It's what I'm going to prioritize, at least for the next 24 to 48 hours. All right, number 2, leverage your network. I cannot say this enough. Every single job I've had up to this day, including my Microsoft role that I just got laid off from, I have leveraged my network, meaning it was because of someone within my network why I got that connection and was able to land that opportunity. So while someone's immediate reaction or immediate sort of action plan would be to, okay, I'm going to go apply to a bunch of jobs and just throw a shot in the dark and just hope something sticks, I would actually recommend you go through your contacts list, see who, from your family and friends, see who is the obvious, sort of reach out. For all you could be, have someone in your contacts or in your group of friends that, has hiring capabilities or is connected to someone that can get you a referral to a role or at a company that you're really passionate about. So I would recommend going through your contacts, going through your texts, making sure that for success by leaning on your community, not only for, referrals and job support, but also just to be in community. Like, it's so important to not isolate yourself during this process. I really need my community. So I am saying this to you to also say it to myself. Do not isolate. As much as you're gonna be like, nope, I can't hang out. I need to focus on applying to jobs. Do not neglect yourself. Do not neglect your needs. Please, please, please. That is so important throughout this entire process. As far as like paperwork is concerned, just making sure that you have written documentation of, or making sure that I have written documentation of my current employment status so that I can apply to unemployment. I made the mistake during my first layoff I was like, you know what? I'm going to land something so quickly. I'll be fine. It'll all work out. I'll be fine. No, do not do that. Do not do that. Even if you think you have something lined up, please grab hold of any resources that are available as you're trying to look for other opportunities. And the reason I say this is not only because we all have bills to pay, there's always going to be a transition period, but also because it helps you not come to the process from a space of desperation. And what I mean by that is if you are, you know, like, oh my gosh, how am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to eat? Having that cushion of unemployment is going to help you not see opportunities and roles as like a lifeline. It's not your lifeline. Making sure that you're being very strategic with where you're applying, who you're talking to, companies that you're looking to work for. It's also important, and making sure that you have that support that your taxes pays for is so important. Get the unemployment, get the food stamps if you can, get put on Medi-Cal, do what you can to make sure that you can sustain yourself while you're going through the job searching process, because for all we know, or for all you know, it's going to be a process, and that's just the facts of the matter. That is the reality of the industry right now. So set yourself up for success from the jump. I just want to remind you that while the job market is tough, you are capable, you are talented, you are worthy of anything that you set your mind to and anything that you want in this life. And do not sell yourself short. Do not give yourself the opportunity to speak down on yourself because of what is currently happening. You deserve to be in rooms that you want to be in. You deserve to work at companies and in roles that spark joy in you. So I just want to remind you that while we're all going through this process right now, or, you know, if you've gone through this, just know that I am here for you. I would love to connect on LinkedIn. Also going to pitch myself now. I am an event manager. I have been in the event management space for 7+ years. Most recently, the job that I was just laid off from, I was an event manager on the cloud AI, cloud supply chain team, supporting our engagements there. So if you are an event manager that has or if you work in the events industry, or if you know of anyone that is currently hiring or looking for an events expert, an engagement expert, community management, community engagement, all that good stuff, marketing, experiential marketing, I am your girl. Alrighty, I love you guys so much. We've got this. It's going to be okay. I'm gonna go have a good cry, but all things considered, I am so blessed. I'm so grateful for this life. I'm so grateful for the gifts that God has blessed me with, and yeah, I'm gonna get through it.
It's why somebody will be like, "Did you get fired yet? Have you been impacted by everything? Have you been laid off? Why the fuck would you want me to lose my job? And you know I got 4 kids. Why? Like, don't call to check on me and lead with that type of shit. Don't call my mama to check on me and lead with that type of shit. You can save all that negativity. This shit happening to the federal employees is real as fuck, and I don't need your negative, lingering ass spirits, your hating ass spirits. So if you an auntie, uncle, cousin, brother, sister, whomever, don't worry about me, sweetheart. Don't worry about me.
Thousands of tech workers are losing their jobs and the numbers keep rising. Now, according to TechCrunch, Amazon had over 100 layoffs from Alexa, Echo, Ring, and etc. Microsoft had over 6,500 job cuts. Now that's 3% of their global staff. Chegg laid off around 248 of its employees. Now that's around 22% of their workforce. Match Group, including Henge and Tinder, laid off around 325 of their employees, and that's roughly around 13% of their workforce. And CrowdStrike laid off around 500 of their employees, and that's around 5% of their workforce. These tech players are making huge structural changes. And throughout the whole year of 2025, there has been over 50,000 tech layoffs, and it's only May. So you might be wondering, what is driving this? Well, it's not only AI and automation. It's also cost cutting, slower growth forecasts, and investor pressure. Some of it is about automation, but some of it is also about boosting profits. And while tech keeps evolving, thousands of people are getting left behind. The future of work is here, but it's not totally safe. Do you think tech companies should be held more accountable? Drop your thoughts down below and follow for more tech updates.
There are mass layoffs right now, and it's impossible to get a job. I am on the borderline of homelessness, y'all. I've talked about it on my page. I had like a whole breakdown. I took down the video because I just didn't want that image of me on the internet. But there's mass layoffs and no one's hiring. What the hell? What in the actual freak is going on, man? Like, what are we gonna do? Like, be real. Like, a lot of people can't just live with their parents, and a lot of people just can't up and say, hey, you know, let me do the, like, there's not too many places to actually get a job. And you're like, social media, you can do social media. Making an income from social media is so freaking hard. Like, the most I've made on TikTok is probably like 2 to 3 cents. Not even lying. 2 to 3 cents. And no one's going to teach you how to make money online for free. It's always somebody selling a course, but the course is just proof that there is no real way of making money besides scamming people out of their money to give them false hope to believing that they are able to do something that you have not yet mastered. So you're trying to sell them something in order for you to keep yourself afloat. Like, the social media is so fucking selfish. It's so selfish. And bro, I'm just crashing out right now, because it's like, why are there mass layoffs and then me as a regular person can't get a job? I seen someone at so I was oh, let me calm down. So I was applying to McDonald's, right? And I had went into my interview, and there's this guy in front of me, and the same guy that was in front of me was asking about the same thing. This guy was in his late 30s, maybe early 40s, looking at a job at McDonald's. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with working at McDonald's, because I wanted to work at McDonald's, but I'm younger. I'm like 20, so I'm like, McDonald's, okay, whatever. But he's 30 and he's having a hard ass time finding a job. That's telling me there's something alarmingly wrong. There is something so alarmingly wrong. And the thing is what's going to happen when homelessness becomes the new normal? What's going to happen? What's going to happen then? Like, what is really going to happen in this world? Like, there's mass layoffs. No one's hiring. What are we going to do? Like, what is the realistic solution? Is it to suffer? To forever suffer, and if you make it, you make it? Is that what the world is coming to? I don't know. But I'm just like hella confused, and I'm praying for everyone who has gotten a layoff. I'm so sorry that you've lost your job, and I hope and pray that better is coming to you. But thank you.
There's another wave of layoffs happening right now. To everybody being laid off, please know it's not your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. This is not a reflection of your value, of your worth, of the quality of the work that you were doing. These were business decisions that were made that were out of your control. There's no way that you could have predicted this. There's no way that you could have stopped this from happening. What I want you to do during this time, collect yourself, read carefully your severance agreement, get an employment lawyer to read it over, or a lawyer friend, or just get a second set of eyes to take a look at it. There are elements of your severance agreement that you can negotiate, like getting your PTO paid out, the length of your severance payment. Next, please take all the time that you need to process these feelings. It is difficult. It is confusing and disorienting. It is somebody pulling the rug from under you. It is unfair and it is painful for somebody to grab your livelihood from you. But it's not your fault. And I need you to really believe that. For the next coming weeks and until you find something, live below your means, take a close look at your budgets. Know where your money is going. Cancel subscriptions. Stop any unnecessary spending. Protect your livelihood. And when you're ready, create a strategy for job hunting. Network, network, network. Reach out to people because they're more than willing to help you during this time. This is hard. I know. It sucks. Cry, yell, scream, punch pillows, scream into a pillow. Do what you need to do. Get these feelings out. We need to keep it moving afterwards, okay? You got this.